Hi there, Capricorn. So I'm going to do a no contact tarot reading with you. We're going to see if your person is going to contact you. And then at the end of this video, if they are going to contact you, then we're going to see what they want to talk about. That's the gist of this kind of a video. It is a love reading. It took me a little bit of time to do these though, because as you know, or if you do, I just finished doing the full year 12-month love readings. And those took me about 3 weeks to do. They are 12 months worth of looking into every month of your love life. So after a while, I finally got them all uploaded. They are there on the front of my YouTube if you want. But now that they're done, I can get right into this, which is lovely. So let's get into it. Using the Animal Oriens Tarot deck, which is based off of the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. So it's going to have the same Rider-Waite-Smith interpretations. The first thing that we're talking about here is the Hermit card in the reversal. And I'm going to be straight up with you. The Hermit card in the upright is not necessarily a card that means isolation, but in the reversal, it has a tendency to, and you did receive it in that position. In addition, when the Hermit, which is a card of spiritual growth, occurs in the reversal, it means resistance. Resistance to going forward, resistance to that spiritual growth. And that tells me that whoever it is that you're waiting on to communicate, that person in particular is resisting the situation, quite frankly. They are holding themselves back. But it's more than just holding back from contacting you, because the Hermit is a card of holding themselves back from spiritual growth. They're trying to go into a different direction that the universe is probably going to give them a little bit of friction over, to be quite frank. Well, you know what? I was going to say they're probably taking a more material desire kind of way of looking at things. And the Nine of Cups in the reversal is a card of gluttony. So they're in a kind of selfish position. And they're convincing themselves with like rosy colored glasses of some alternative wishes that they might have. Because again, much like the card of the Nine of Cups can be a card of gluttony, there is a lot of cups here. Imagine trying to consume all of those cups. You would be a gluttonous in a gluttonous situation. But much like it's about gluttony, it's also about self-servingness, self-serving interests, and doing it with, like, in terms of the material world, rosy colored glasses for the material, which means they're too wishful thinking. It's almost like this person is kind of tricking themselves into thinking the grass is greener on the other side, when in reality the grass is probably greener with you watering the grass, but this person is not willing to see that. They have some other cups that they're going after to try and indulge in. What I do want to do for a moment here with this Page of Pentacles card, since it's in the reversal and it has quite a diversity of meanings, is I'm going to pull a bit of an extra clarification card, because this card can talk about a person who, on one hand, does not see how to plant the appropriate seed in their life. So they indulge in other things. On another token, the Page of Pentacles is specifically a card of loss when it's in the reversal. And so it may be that this person is afraid of the uncomfortable dynamic of potentially taking a risk with you or a loss. And so they avoid and resist contacting you because of that loss potential. Like they think there's going to be a loss. But in the alternative, this card, because it's a pentacle and it's one of the pages connected to planting a seed in life, it could be, there's almost a family dynamic that can come with the Page of Pentacles, because it is a page. It is a card of youth. And sometimes that's a card in the reversal about like inheritances and pensions and dowry and things that are like money tied to family. So what I'm going to do is I am going to shuffle an extra card of clarification just to give me more of a line of thinking on that Page of Pentacles, why this person has this here. Is this person thinking about the loss, or is this person thinking that they might have a loss with like a family dynamic? See what I'm saying? Oh, we have stuff falling out. How many cards just fell out? 3 cards. Okay. First thing that's standing out to me is the Ten of Wands. Doubles down on this being way too much of a heavy burden. That definitely insinuates somebody who is willingly losing out on something, but It's odd because when the Ten of Wands is in the reversal, it's also somebody who contemplates that they could pick something up later. The other two cards were the Knight of Swords. That is a card of, it's interesting because it's a card of messages and communication, but it's a card of protecting oneself. The Seven of Wands is a card of protecting oneself. Remember, the Knight of Swords is the one who wears a lot of armor. It's the knight in shining armor, but not the kind that sweeps you off your feet. The one that's barricaded up because they need to protect themselves from getting stabbed. So I think with these three cards, it's an insinuation that this person is protecting themselves from the loss that they think will happen if they reach out to you. Oddly enough, though, these two cards right here, the Knight of Swords and the Ten of Wands, is a bit of an oppositional field because on one sense, this is a card of them wanting to communicate, but on this sense, in this hand here, the Ten of Wands in the reversal is the card of contradictions. So this person, although they want to communicate, this is the key, they do want to. This actually wouldn't be happening here if they didn't care. There wouldn't be so much focus on them thinking there was going to be a loss unless they cared to lose something. But that's the thing. They want to communicate, but they're not allowing themselves. So then this is an experience of the contradiction that they're in. Wanting to communicate, Knight of Swords, but the Hermit in the middle of the reading, it is resistance to it. At this point, I think it's safe to say that we don't have communication coming in right now. That kind of makes me think that it stems to reason that it may change in the future. But there's a lot of like almost illusion-based energy coming in on this. Illusion-based energy is here. The need to feel like they need to protect themselves is here. The need to feel like there's a heavy burden they need to protect themselves from is here. Armoring themselves up to protect themselves is here. It almost kind of feels like this person may convince themselves of problems that they don't have to. And that's a hard pill to get through for you. Like, that is not your responsibility. You know, when someone convinces themselves of things that they don't need to, that's a them thing. But not just like, haha, you have a problem, but like more like sympathy, more like, damn, like you really are they really are needing to work through that kind of stuff, you know? What I will do, since I don't see communication coming in this particular energy right here, there's only one card in this entire reading that talks about communication, but it's a very guarded communication. What I will do is I will I'll shuffle some more cards and I'll see further what they're thinking. Kind of like getting in their mind a little bit. Usually I have another deck that we do this with. It's called the Mind Reader Tarot deck, but I can do it with a regular tarot. Did we just shuffle and the Hermit came right back out? What are they thinking? They're like, nope, I'm resistant. Like, nope, I'm staying on my own. I got a kind of feeling here with that 9. It was the 9 of Cups. 9 of Pentacles is more the card of a single person, but the 9 of Cups is also an isolationist kind of figure. This person might want to be single. Like, they might prefer that. See? Stubborn. Stubborn energy with this resistance. An Ace of Cups. Resistance, and stubborn, but they care about you. But they don't want to show it. They don't want to talk about it. They'd rather, to some degree, be on their own. You know, have you ever heard the expression that it would be nice if somebody chose you? They're choosing themselves, but they almost like right in this one little area, they want to keep the door open to the possibilities in the future. And that you can take that if you want to. But I think it's kind of unreasonable for them to do that. That might be the kind of person who leaves the door open, not because they're trying to communicate, but they think like maybe in the future something could happen. And that leaves you on standby, which is kind of unhealthy. So if I was you, if this was my reading for me, and I'm a Libra, I would move on and if their repercussion is that you move on quicker than they can get their shit together, then they'll have to deal with being on standby now, won't they? They'll have to be on the back burner. That's what I would do with this. Okay, I'm gonna be absolutely okay if you don't and you choose to wait for this person and see if maybe they get out of their head. But it's to each their own in that kind of a dynamic. I wish you all the best with it. This isn't showing up like they're going to communicate at this point. And so I'm going to head off now to do the Sagittarius reading. And if you are interested in any further dynamics, like how your love life might go in February or in January, I'm uploading those on TikTok. So there's some more free videos and some more unlockable content over there if you're interested. And I'll leave you off with that. All right. Thanks very much. And ciao for now.